A celebrity fainted on the high-speed train. At the scene, I performed surgery to cut open her trachea, saving her life. When she woke up, she tearfully asked for my contact information, saying she wanted to send me a banner of thanks. However, half a month later, not only did I not receive any banner, but I was served with a lawyer's letter instead. The celebrity claimed that because of my illegal medical practice and damaging her trachea, she could no longer sing. Her fans also started to verbally attack me, calling me an unethical quack and corrupt in medical ethics. Even my boyfriend accused me of ruining the bright future of his idol. As the situation escalated, I was permanently dismissed from the hospital, and my career was completely destroyed. In despair, I picked up a scalpel and aimed it at my own carotid artery. But what I didn't expect was that the day after my death, that celebrity released a new album and appeared on a new music variety show. It turned out her vocal cords had already healed. She was just using me as a scapegoat to divert attention from the scandal of being maintained by a wealthy businessman. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day the celebrity fainted on the high-speed train. Please, any medical personnel on the train, come to carriage 1 immediately. Someone urgently needs your help. Suddenly, an urgent call for help came over the train's PA system. My boyfriend, Joe Sickhen, immediately asked me, "Should we go check it out?" No. My cold refusal stunned Joe Sickhen, perhaps because no medical personnel had come forward yet. Another anxious male voice came from the broadcast. "The person who fainted is the celebrity Meng Chanqian. If you can save her, not only will we offer a substantial reward, but we will also provide limited edition signed photos and concert tickets of Chanqian." A murmur quickly arose in the carriage. "My God, it's Chanqian. How is she on this train? She fainted. It must be her cruel company overworking her. I feel so sorry for her." Meng Chanqian was a highly popular new star, who in just 2 years of debut, had attracted a large fan base with her pure looks and captivating voice, earning the nickname, the purest nightingale in the entertainment industry. Even Joe Sickhen, upon hearing this, couldn't help but show a pained expression, saying, "Chang Shui, as a doctor, you have a compassionate heart, go and save her. She must have fainted from overworking herself out of dedication." His words made me laugh in anger. Fainted from dedication. She clearly had an allergic reaction to birth control pills, causing her airways to swell. In my past life, I didn't even wait until the announcement mentioned she was a celebrity. I rushed to help immediately, upon seeing Meng Chanqian's cyanotic face and convulsing body. I knew she must have ingested something harmful and quickly applied the Heimlich maneuver to help her vomit it out, but I didn't expect her to only throw up a few pills. When I asked her manager what was going on, he hesitantly revealed they were birth control pills. I didn't care about the gossip of female celebrities taking birth control pills. To me, she was just a patient, so I deduced that she was allergic to the pills, which caused her airway obstruction. I quickly told her manager, "Brother Kai, she needs surgery immediately, go find me some clean knives and alcohol." Brother Kai hurriedly stumbled to get the items. Without hesitation, I cut open Meng Chanqian's trachea and performed a simple cricothyroidotomy. A few minutes later, her cyanotic face finally returned to normal. The moment Meng Chanqian opened her eyes, her manager Brother Kai almost knelt down on the spot to thank me. "Hua Tua reincarnated, divine doctor, thankfully you were here today, otherwise our Chanqian might have died." After reaching the station, Meng Chanqian was taken away by a hospital vehicle, and she specifically cried and typed a thank you message on her phone. "Dr. Chang, please be sure to leave your phone number in workplace. The internet says that to thank a doctor, you should go to the hospital when it's busiest, with gongs and drums to present him with a banner so that he can be appreciated by the hospital's leaders and be promoted." I was rendered speechless by the girl's naive and innocent words, but I finally sent her my contact details, advising her to rest well and to contact me if needed. But what I didn't expect was that half a month later, she indeed chose the busiest time to deliver something to the hospital. Unfortunately, it wasn't a banner, but a lawyer's letter. Her manager, Brother Kai, in front of many leaders, cursed at me, "You quack. It's all your fault for practicing medicine illegally and damaging our Chanqian's trachea. Now she can't sing anymore." I incredulously looked at him. "Wasn't it you who begged me to help save her? If I hadn't performed the surgery, she would have died." But Brother Kai just scoffed disdainfully. "What qualifications did you have to perform surgery on our Chanqian? Her annual insurance premium is in the 7 figures. If something goes wrong, can you afford to compensate? I've already consulted a lawyer. You didn't show any medical license at the time, and it was illegal out-of-state practice, a serious violation of the law. Our Chanqian still has over a dozen variety shows lined up, and new songs to release, but because of you, she can no longer sing," they said. "You must pay the price." My pupils dilated in shock. I could hardly believe that these words were coming from the same person who had once begged me, crying. I hurriedly sought out my boyfriend Joe Sushuan, who had been on a business trip with me, hoping he could testify and explain on my behalf. But to my disappointment, Joe Sushuan said disheartenedly, "Chang Shui, you should apologize. It was your lack of medical expertise that killed the purest songbird in the entertainment industry. Hearing this, Kai's voice grew even louder as he viciously berated me as a quack doctor. More and more patients gathered around, and even the leadership, with faces ashen, told me to take immediate leave to deal with the situation, but this was just the beginning. After I returned home, a video of Kai questioning me in the hospital was leaked, #unscrupulous quack doctor, #Meng Qianqian can no longer sing. These topics exploded across the trending searches. Meng Qianqian instantly became the most discussed and pitted female singer. Every day, people sent me private messages cursing me to die, and some even photoshopped images of my family's funeral. Meanwhile, my boyfriend Zhou Suxuan blocked me and visited Meng Qianqian in the hospital daily, claiming it was to atone for my sins. I couldn't take it anymore. I picked up the surgical knife I once knew so well and aimed it at my own carotid artery. Before my death, I left a suicide note to the press, hoping to tell the world in this drastic way. I was not wrong, but not only did Kai manage the situation to suppress my suicide note, but he also replaced the planned publication of my note with news of Meng Qianqian's miraculous recovery of her trachea, soon to return to the music scene. Countless fans cried with joy over her recovery. She tearfully said, perhaps it was Zhou Suxuan's care during this period that healed me, or perhaps seeing that quack doctor die, no longer harming others, has finally lifted the weight off my heart and allowed me to heal. Thank God. Everyone marveled at the miracle, and Meng Qianqian's fame soared even higher. But on one of her shows, I overheard her and Kai saying, Kai, your move was brilliant, pretending the trachea was injured to gain sympathy and suppress the scandal of me being kept. Not only did I become more famous, but I also got the young master of the Zhou family to take over that Dr. Chang. She died just right. Kai laughed and comforted her. Exactly, the duty of a doctor is to save the dying and heal the wounded. She pushed you from a third tier to a top tier star. She should be happy about that. As they spoke, they tore my blood-stained suicide note to shreds, and I, merely a lingering spirit, could only watch as she continued to rise in fame, securing endorsements and even getting engaged and having children with Zhou Suxuan. But I never expected that the heavens would give me another chance. In this life, I would no longer meddle or have anything to do with that venomous star. However, at this moment, Zhou Suxuan looked at me with disappointment and said, Cheng Shui, you've really disappointed me. You weren't like this before. Isn't it your duty to be compassionate and save lives? I laughed. The prerequisite for treating and saving lives is that the patient is a human. Meng Qianqian is nothing but a harmful white-eyed wolf. Why should I save her? I glanced at Zhou Suxuan. Oh, aren't you a doctor too? Why don't you go save her? He was hit where it hurt. You know I'm still an intern. I don't even have a medical license yet. Then keep your sympathy to yourself and shut up. Zhou Suxuan was instantly silenced, but as the announcement for medical assistance continued to play, Zhou Suxuan looked anxiously towards car 1, bit his lip as if making a decision, and suddenly pointed at me, shouting, someone come quick, this Cheng Shui here is a surgeon, she can save Meng Qianqian. At that moment, everyone turned their gaze towards me. Wow, what a masterclass in moral coercion. Unfortunately, I'm not going to let you have your way. I stepped forward to meet everyone's gaze and loudly proclaimed in their expectant eyes, as a doctor, because I am a doctor, my medical skills swiftly make their way into China, commanding surgical knives to split Jesus's underpants and syringes to launch aircraft carriers, like this pill that could blast 800 piglets to death. At that moment, everyone was dumbfounded. They had no idea what I was talking about, neither did I. But I knew that they didn't know what I was saying, because I was just spouting nonsense. Right, I am a doctor, but would you really let someone who seems mentally unstable treat you? As I spoke faster and faster, the pupils of the conductor and the agent widened. At the end, I even knelt down stiffly, grabbed Brother Kai who had just bowed earlier, and banged his forehead against mine, making us knock heads together and shouting loudly, bounce, bounce, bounce away the crow's feet. The carriage fell silent, even Zhou Suxuan was silent. I knew I had probably achieved my goal. I shook my head, dusted myself off, stood up, and with a sudden realization, remarked to everyone, "Ah, my apologies, she just slipped out. It's okay, I'm back now, let's go. Didn't we say we were off to see and heal people?" I looked at Brother Kai, but he, holding the forehead I had just knocked it on, recoiled in horror. I feigned confusion. Even the conductor looked at me fearfully. Only Zhou Suxuan, unwilling to believe what he was seeing, shouted, Cheng Shui, what are you pretending for? To avoid going to save Qianqian, you're actually pretending to be crazy here. I looked innocent. No, I really want to save Meng Qianqian. Hurry, lead the way. Brother Kai was the first to speak up. No way. We absolutely can't let this lunatic save Qianqian. Our Qianqian is a star. If anything happens to her, 10 lunatics couldn't compensate. I spread my hands. Then you guys should ask Zhou Suxuan. He's also a top student from the medical university. Brother Kai was quick to spot the medical university graduate student ID on his little table. Quick, genius. Come with me to save her. But Zhou Xixuan quickly retorted, no, I haven't completed my residency training yet. People's lives are at stake. Go and give emergency aid. Even just performing CPR would be good, Brother Kai said, pulling him towards carriage 1. The other passengers in the car also cheered on Zhou Xixuan to go and save her, saying it was his first lesson as a future doctor. Zhou Xixuan's moral coercion backfired on him. Unable to resist, he was pushed by everyone toward Meng Qianqian's carriage. I watched his retreating figure and couldn't help but laugh. Zhou Xixuan, I really look forward to seeing your expression when you help your pure goddess vomit out a bunch of contraceptive pills. I stood at the very end of the crowd, bustling along with them. Even with security on the train, it couldn't stop the crowd's eagerness to watch the celebrity drama unfold. I even saw someone next to me starting a live stream. Folks, breaking news, female star Meng Qianqian fainted on our high-speed train today. Meng Qianqian's popularity instantly made this a hot topic, drawing a massive crowd of onlookers. The camera focused on Meng Qianqian not far away. Her small face was turning purple, and she weakly leaned on her seat, continuously pounding her chest with her hands. The comments streamed by, my god, it must be her company overworking her with a packed schedule that made our Qianqian faint. So heartbroken. Does it really look like she fainted from exhaustion? It looks more like she choked on something she ate. And Zhou Xixuan, after all a medical master, quickly assessed Meng Qianqian's condition, immediately held her against his chest, and performed the Heimlich maneuver, under his compressions. The previously weak Meng Qianqian suddenly vomited violently. Several yellow pills spilled out onto the ground. Zhou Xixuan wiped the sweat from his forehead. It's okay, she probably just choked on these pills she took too hastily. The livestream was flooded with comments. My goodness. What illness does Qianqian have to take so many pills at once? What are those pills? Poor thing. Seeing this, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. What pills? Of course. It was her sugar daddy who had her take the birth control pills. Unfortunately, Zhou Xixuan did not recognize these pills. Moreover, just when he finally began to relax, he noticed that Meng Qianqian's complexion was still very pale and bruised. She still hadn't woken up. What's going on? Why hasn't Qianqian woken up yet? Didn't you say it would be fine once she threw up? Kai Ge yelled loudly while holding Meng Qianqian. Zhou Xixuan also looked panicked. His clinical experience was insufficient, and with so many onlookers, he became nervous and couldn't make a clear judgment, only managing to stutter. It might be a side effect of the medication, right? It could be the drugs. He quickly turned to Kai Ge. What medicine did she take? Tell me quickly. But as soon as Zhou Xixuan asked this, Kai Ge's face changed instantly. In my previous life, I had rushed over early, and no one knew that the person who fainted was Meng Qianqian, so there was no crowd. Thus, under my pressing, Kai Ge quickly whispered to me that it was birth control pills. But this life was different. This time, Kai Ge himself revealed that Meng Qianqian had fainted, and Zhou Xixuan had made a big deal out of it, attracting many onlookers, some of whom even started live streaming. Kai Ge dared not say what medicine Meng Qianqian had taken. He hesitated and did not speak. The live stream viewers were growing impatient. What medicine is it? Just say it, so we can figure out a solution together. I'm so angry. What kind of lousy agent is this? It's still 20 minutes to the next high-speed train station. Who knows if our Qianmate can last that long? I study medicine, and I can say for sure, Meng Qianqian wasn't just choked. From her symptoms, it's definitely drug-induced, either a side effect or an allergy. Zhou Xixuan also realized this and urged Kai Ge, what exactly did she take? Tell me quickly, or how can we save Qianqian? But Kai Ge clenched his teeth and remained silent. Just then, someone suddenly spoke up. Is it this? I found it under the seat. Someone shakily held up a pink box, printed with the words Zwajueno just in tablets. In that moment, the whole room fell silent. Finally, someone spoke up weakly. Isn't that birth control pills? The entire live stream audience went wild. What exactly is going on? Why would Qianmei take such a thing? Ha! What else could it be? Despicable. Can you keep your mouth clean? Many people use this to regulate their menstrual cycle. Can't you stop insulting others right away? I've never heard of anyone taking a handful at once to regulate their menstrual cycle. And still claim to be the purest songbird in the entertainment industry. If not a plague locust, the chat in the live stream was chaotic, with Kai Ge and Zhou Xixuan showing a variety of expressions. Finally, Zhou Xixuan was the first to speak, trying to keep his voice calm. I think I understand now. It's not a side effect. It's respiratory obstruction caused by an allergy. She needs surgery right away to open her airway. Seeing Kai Ge's expression change dramatically, he quickly added, don't worry. A cricothyroidotomy is a simple procedure that can be performed sterilely outdoors, but, I've never done it before. I'm a bit scared. He paused, then suddenly turned his gaze towards the crowd. I felt a chill on my back. No good. This guy definitely wants me to perform the surgery. I had just gotten away with pretending to be crazy, but with so many live streams, if I pretended again and my work leaders saw, I would definitely be disciplined. I looked at the hard and solid walls of the high-speed train. I quietly moved back, then, just as Zhou Seixuan's gaze fell on me, I shouted, "Don't push from behind, I'm going to faint." With that, I slammed into the wall, my head striking it hard. With a bang, I passed out gracefully. I was carried back to my original train carriage. While being carried, I still heard Zhou Seixuan shouting, "Don't carry her away, she can perform the surgery." But who would care? I was now a fainted person. When I returned to my seat, I slowly came to and weakly wiped the fresh blood from my forehead, telling the train attendant, "You should go help over by Meng Qianqian. I'm fine, she needs more urgent help right now." The train attendant even praised me as a good citizen with public spirit. As soon as the attendant left, I immediately took out my phone and continued to watch the live stream that kind-hearted people had shared. In the live stream, Meng Qianqian's complexion was turning increasingly blue. Zhou Seixuan dared not delay any longer, and had to bite the bullet. Using the knife and alcohol that Kai and the others had found, I began to perform surgery on Meng Qianqian. However, as soon as I saw his clumsy technique, I knew things were not looking good. Even the medical students watching the live broadcast realized, isn't his incision too large? Qianqian is a celebrity. What if it affects her vocal cords later? It seems like there's something wrong with the disinfection step. This could easily lead to an infection. Oh no. The stitches are all crooked. What if it scars? Will you guys up there just shut up? Saving a life is what matters. Stop nitpicking. Exactly. If you think you can do better, then go ahead. Despite the chaos in the live broadcast, the scene was eerily quiet. It wasn't until Zhou Seixuan, drenched in cold sweat, finally finished the surgery that Kai burst out. The bruising on Qianqian's face is fading, and her breathing has stabilized. Zhou Seixuan wiped the sweat from his forehead, checked her heartbeat again, and finally took a deep breath of relief. Applause broke out at the scene. Meanwhile, the high-speed train finally arrived at the station. The professional medical team I had contacted in advance hurried onto the train to take Meng Qianqian away. I saw Zhou Seixuan tidying up his clothes, preparing to leave, but just then, he was stopped by Kai. My heart skipped a beat seeing this scene. I heard Kai say the same words to him that he had once said to me in a past life. "Miracle doctor, thank you for saving our Qianqian. Please leave your contact information. We will definitely send you a banner of gratitude." Zhou Seixuan hesitated, then bowed his head and typed in his school and workplace information for Kai. In that moment, my heart surged with thrill, because I knew Zhou Seixuan was doomed. He hadn't yet received his residency certificate and medical license. If anything happened to Meng Qianqian, they'd sue him for sure. The cyberbullying and insults I endured in my past life were about to be his burden soon. I was truly looking forward to it. When I saw Zhou Seixuan heading towards me in the live broadcast, I quickly shut my eyes again. The next second, I heard his cold voice, "Stop pretending, it's time to get off the train." I slowly opened my eyes and pretended to ask him, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." He looked at me with scorn. "Cheng Shui, I never thought you could be this kind of person. Not only did you ignore someone in need of help, but you also used feigning madness and fainting to escape responsibility. I really don't know how I could have been with someone of such poor character 2 years ago." I cut him off. "Then let's not be together." He paused, seemingly confused. "What did you say?" I said let's break up. As I left, he was still standing there stunned. Perhaps he never expected that I, who had always been so compliant, would one day take the initiative to break up. Zhou Seixuan and I met while he was doing an internship at our hospital. At that time, he was often bullied by his seniors, and I couldn't stand it, so I spoke up for him several times. After that, he started clinging to me, calling me a sister, and even began pursuing me passionately. Having never dated before, I quickly fell for this younger, well-bred, and handsome brother. Being 5 years older, I naturally took care of him after we started dating. Despite Meng Qianqian's plummeting popularity among the public, the situation could not be salvaged. It wasn't until midnight that her management company issued an urgent PR statement. In essence, it conveyed the following. Firstly, Meng Qianqian fainted because she had been working too hard and too diligently during the filming. Secondly, she took birth control pills to regulate her menstrual cycle, and her overdose was due to unfamiliarity with the medication, not knowing the correct dosage to take. Lastly, they followed up with a standard legal notice warning, as is customary internationally. By the late night hours, the trending searches about Meng Qianqian gradually began to decrease. I knew this was a typical PR strategy often employed by celebrities. No matter, at least in this lifetime, I had successfully escaped from that high-speed train incident that nearly destroyed my entire life, and I wasn't going to let Meng Qianqian pin anything on me. The next day, I went to work as usual. Due to the explosive news about Meng Qianqian, the crazy incident I had on the high-speed train was completely overshadowed and went unnoticed. Upon arrival, I ran into Zhou Xixuan, who was on a phone call. I initially intended to walk past him, but he deliberately spoke loudly on the phone in my presence. "Oh, it's Brother Kai, you're coming to our hospital today. No need for a banner of thanks, just hoping Qianqian recovers soon would be enough." I glanced at his obviously boastful demeanor and walked away. Banners of thanks? Huh, he probably doesn't know that his legal notice has arrived. In the afternoon, Brother Kai and his group really did show up, unexpectedly. What he brought was indeed a banner of thanks, not a legal notice. Brother Kai even lavishly praised Zhou Xixuan in front of our hospital's leadership, commending his kind heart and excellent medical skills. Giving Zhou Xixuan quite a moment in the spotlight. I was stunned by this turn of events. How could this be possible? The surgery Zhou Xixuan performed had so many flaws, it was bound to impact her tracheal recovery. It would definitely affect her singing. Given her and Brother Kai's personalities, they wouldn't miss this opportunity to gain sympathy and whitewash her image. Something felt very off. Yet, I had no leads. Half a month later, paparazzi even captured Meng Qianqian entering and leaving Zhou Xixuan's apartment near the school. In the footage, the two were close together, exceptionally intimate. News of their romance skyrocketed to the top of the trending searches, and the comment section went wild. A medical student prodigy and a popular female singer, what a fairy tale romance, and their meeting is so novel-like. I'm totally shipping them. Get married tomorrow. Only I, seeing this news, felt an eerie sense of wrongness. How could Meng Qianqian and Zhou Xixuan get together so quickly? In my past life, Zhou Xixuan had pursued her for a long time before they became a couple. Something was very wrong with the whole situation. There must be something I'm overlooking. Meng Qianqian must be plotting something with Zhou Xixuan, but what exactly? My eyes scanned the news about the apartment. I had lived in Zhou Xixuan's small apartment before, fearing the dangers of walking at night. I had even installed a surveillance camera on his front door. Even after we broke up, I hadn't gotten around to removing it, and it was still connected to my phone. I quickly opened the remote surveillance app and kept vigil whenever I could, fearing I might miss something important Meng Qianqian might say. Then one night, I finally caught Meng Qianqian. She was on the phone, entering the passcode lock. "Brother Kai, your move was brilliant. I was about to send Zhou Xixuan a legal notice, but it's good that you noticed he has feelings for me. This way, not only can I give my child a nominal father, but I can also use this relationship to boost my popularity." When she said this, I was completely dumbfounded. My God. So Meng Qianqian was pregnant? That explains it. That's why she was so eager to be with Zhou Xixuan. She wanted him to take the fall. I was utterly shocked. Back in my previous life, when Zhou Xixuan and she got engaged, did he know about this? What a pity. For the first time, I regretted dying too early in my previous life and missing out on the dramatic turn of events when Zhou Xixuan became a happy father. Anyway, don't try to persuade me. I'm not going to have an abortion. I'm still hoping to marry into the family of General Chan, or General Li, or General Lu. Wait a minute, from what she's saying, does she even know who the father of her child is? Well, speaking of which, I guess it's not too unfair to him. If it weren't for him performing surgery on me on that high-speed train, how could I possibly vomit out the birth control pills I swallowed, causing contraception to be untimely, even though he's not the biological father of the child? He should still take responsibility for me. Honestly, at that moment, I was utterly shocked by Meng Qianqian's logic. Upon learning the whole truth, I even felt some sympathy for Zhou Xixuan. Wearing such a huge cuckold's hat and raising another man's son felt worse than being slapped with a malpractice. Legal notice. It seems that Zhou Xixuan eventually fell deeply in love with Meng Qianqian. He even applied to end his internship at our hospital early, on the day he came to move his things. He made a point of seeing me one last time, dressed in a white shirt and black trousers, tall and undeniable. His appearance was still top-notch. He looked at me with a mocking gaze and casually dropped a bombshell. "Cheng Shui, I have some news that might hurt you." I crossed my arms and said, "Go on. I'm going to be a father, and it's twins." After saying that, he stared at me triumphantly, as if waiting for me to regret or even feel heartbroken, but I couldn't help but burst out laughing. "Congratulations, being a dad." My reaction was completely unexpected to him. He was stunned and finally cursed at me. "You're crazy, Cheng Shui. It seems you're addicted to pretending to be crazy." Yes, my madness was fake, but your cuckold's hat is real. It wasn't long before Meng Qianqian's marriage and pregnancy with Zhou Xixuan were officially announced, making them the center of attention. They even signed up for several reality shows to flaunt their love. But just then, perhaps due to Meng Qianqian's rivals, rumors of her past being kept by wealthy businessmen were dug up. Although there were no concrete photos, the stories were very convincing. Rumor had it that several of her endorsements fell through because of this. I was initially enjoying her misfortune, but I hadn't anticipated that Meng Qianqian and her agent would resort to their old tactics to manipulate fans and whitewash her image. That very night, a video of me acting foolish and crazy on the high-speed train was spread by marketing accounts. Meng Qianqian even started crying. I just found out that this lady is actually a surgeon at the city hospital, but why was she acting so crazy that day, if it's true? Is it legal and proper for someone who seems mentally unstable to hold such an important medical position? If it's fake, did she intentionally refuse to operate on me? I'm grateful that the accident led me to meet my current love, but I've always regretted not having the experience. Dr. Cheng Shui operate on me, I might not have suffered from tracheal sequelae, and wouldn't have as much trouble singing as I do now. Her sob story instantly gained her a large following. Countless netizens cried for her and rallied to her defense, filling our hospital's complaint section with furious messages. Seeing this familiar pattern of cyberbullying, I couldn't help but laugh. Sorry, Meng Qianqian, you're still using the same old tricks. But I'm no longer the fool who lets you bully me from my past life. Did you really think you were the only one with surveillance footage? I directly sent the surveillance video I had recorded of Meng Qianqian to her rivals anonymously. That night, the classic recording exploded on Weibo. Brother Kai, your move was brilliant. I wouldn't get an abortion. I want to keep the child. Maybe one day I could marry into General Chain or General Li's family with this child, even though he's not the child's biological father. He should still take responsibility. Suddenly, not just me, but the entire nation was stunned by Meng Qianqian's logic. Everyone also knew about Zhou Xixuan being cuckolded. The evidence was irrefutable. Compared to my feigned madness and her adulterous pregnancy, what was that really? I even nonchalantly had a marketing account help me respond. Actually, I'm very healthy, and I really wanted to help Meng that day, but I had eaten mushrooms from Yunnan. Everyone knows what it's like to be poisoned by Yunnan mushrooms, right? I'm truly sorry. Those who saw my clarification expressed understanding. After all, Yunnan mushrooms are indeed very poisonous. My clarification hung on the trending list for only 10 minutes before it was quickly pushed down by other trending topics about Meng Qianqian. The recording came out, and her rivals unearthed even more dirt on her, like bullying newcomers, acting haughty, and tax evasion. In no time, all of Meng Qianqian's variety shows were cancelled, endorsements replaced, and she even faced a massive amount of compensation. That night, I received a message from Zhou Xixuan. Was it you who released the video? No wonder you were laughing that day. You knew all along, didn't you? I didn't respond because I was already on a plane heading abroad. I had actually started applying for a postdoctoral program abroad soon after I was reborn. I had already decided that no matter what happened, the safest option was to escape abroad, far away from Meng Qianqian and her ilk. A few days ago, my resignation and visa came through, and I couldn't wait to leave. Now, Meng Qianqian has been completely frozen out. And I'm adapting well abroad, but from time to time, I receive emails from Zhou Xixuan. Sister, I miss you so much. I finally understand that you are the person who loves me the most in the world. Won't you come back? Big sister, I really miss you so much. It's only now that I realize how much you've done for me. You would take notes for me, protect me from being scolded by our seniors, and even give me your salary to use. You were the one who cured my insomnia, sister. I will break up with Meng Qianqian for you. Can you give me another chance? I simply replied, sure, I'll forgive you when you're dead. After sending that, I ignored him, but what I didn't expect was that half a year later, Zhou Xixuan really did die, before Meng Qianqian gave birth. She explained once in public, claiming that the surveillance videos online were AI generated, that she had not cheated or been kept, and that the child was indeed Zhou Xixuan's. But when the child was born, well, what do you know? Twin boys, one black and one white. This phenomenon does occur in biology, where children can inherit such mixed traits if their grandparents were black and white. However, no matter how mixed they were, neither of the babies had Asian skin. It was clear as day that neither was Zhou Xixuan's child. Enraged, Zhou Xixuan ended up setting fire to Meng Qianqian and Kai, who had come to visit, killing them both. Before his death, he sent me one last email. Sister, by the time you read this, I might already be dead. Think of it as me setting up our next life's home. Can you forgive me now? Seeing the phrase, next life's home, only made me feel sick. Even though he was dead, I seriously typed out 3 words in response to his email. No, I cannot.